जयगरुड सुपर्णा अहोबिले गारुडशैलमध्ये कृपावशात् कल्पितसन्निधानं लक्ष्म्या समालिङ्गितवामभागं लक्ष्मीनृसिंहं शरणं प्रपद्ये। श्रीमद्रङ्गशठारिसंयमिवराल्लब्धागमान् तद्वयं श्रीमद्वीररघुद्वहाद्यशठजित्पादारविन्दाश्रयं श्रीमद्वेदवतं सदेशिकयतेः कारुण्यवीक्षास्पदं सेवे रंगधुरीण शासनवशं नारायणं योगिनं वेदान्तदेशिकयतीन्द्रकटाक्षलब्ध त्रय्यन्तसारमनवद्यगुणं बुधाग्रयं नारायणाद्ययतिधुर्यकृपाभिषिक्तं श्रीरङ्गनाथयतिशेखरमाश्रयामः। श्रीकृष्णमार्यं करुणालयन्तं वेदान्तयुग्मं समधीतवन्तं वत्साभिजातं विदुषां वरेण्यं श्रीभाष्यसिंहं प्रणमामि नित्यम्। वात्स्य श्रीकृष्णसूरीन्द्र पदपङ्कजषट्पदम् अनन्तपद्मनाभार्यं भारद्वाजमहं भजे। श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि। सन्तः श्रीरङ्गपृथ्वीशचरणत्राणशेखराः जयन्ति भुवनत्राणपदपङ्कजरेणवः। भरताय परं नमोऽस्तु तस्मै प्रथमोदाहरणाय भक्तिभाजाम् यदुपज्ञमशेषतः पृथिव्यां प्रथितो राघवपादुका प्रभावः। Namaskaram to everyone. I feel utmost fortunate to be speaking on Swami Desikan and Paduka Sahasram on this occasion. This is the occasion of 100th Thirunakshatram of Karukurichchi Chetlur Sri Upanyasam Sri Krishnamacharya Swami. He took his avataram at Karukurichchi and spent his childhood days in Sri Rangam. He took his samashranam under Karukurichchi Chinna Azhiyeshingar, who is named as Shrivan Shadavopa Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Shadavopa Yatindra Mahadeshikan. And then he offered his bhara, that is, he did Bharanyasam under Mukkur Azhiyeshingar, that is, Shrivan Shadavopa Shri Vedanta Deshika Yatindra Mahadeshikan. And then he did Kalakshepams under Vilivalam Azhiyeshingar. Is this the only qualification? No. He did lot of kainkariams to lot of people in general, that is, lot of Laukika people. He did teach lot of Samskrita stotrams. Paduka Sahasram is one of the important one among them. In this way, he did teach stotras to everyone. Is it just stotras he taught? No. He taught even Vedas, especially very useful Veda Bhagas for Nitya Aradhanam and Nitya Anusandhanam for all Purushas. He did teach lot of stotras, Deshika stotras to more than 100 ladies. Is this the only one? No. He did Srimad Ramayana Parayanam for 15 years and he did complete 50 Pattabhishekams within those 50 years of time. On special occasions like Sri Jayanti and Nrsimha Jayanti, he did Srimad Bhagavata Parayanam. In this way, what he did not do, he did even teach Lakshmi Sahasra to many of the ladies. He did teach Yadavabhyudayam. He did teach other Stotra Patams of Swami Vedanta Deshikan. In this way, he has been focusing on teaching Swami Deshikan's stotras and stotra pathas on Perumal and Pirati to everyone. This is what he lived his life for, we can say that. In this way, he has lived his life only teaching stotra pathas to all the people in general. Is this the only thing he did in his life? No. As a Laukika, he was a station master. So, the people who are undergoing Kalakshepams, or people who are not yet undergoing Kalakshepams but are having intense interest in undergoing Kalakshepams in future, who are all in some or the other Laukika profession, can have this Swami as an inspiration. Swami, being a station master, has achieved so many things in his life. So I feel most fortunate to be speaking on this occasion on Swami Desikan and Paduka. I would like to thank my Kalakshepa Acharyan, Dr. Shri AbhimaaN Swami, for having given me this opportunity, and also Krishnavarahan Swami, who is my Kalakshepa Satirthar, for having given me this opportunity to speak on Paduka Sahasram. Santa Sriranga Prithvisha Charanatrana Shekharaha. This is the first line where Santaha indicates the plural form of Sat. Who are these Sat? Sat are those people who have realized that they are the complete Sheshas for Perumal and Piratti. In that way, who can we say as Shesha? We can say Swami Desikan, we can say Nammalvar, we can say Swami Ramanuja, we can say Valmiki, we can say Vyasa, we can say Bharata, we can say Lakshmana, we can say Hanuman. There can be many people who fit into the context of this Santa. Are these the only people? No. I would like to add Karukurichchi, Chetlur, Sri Uvek, Krishnamacharya Swami also to this list. In that way, all these Mahans have realized from within that they are the Shesha to Paramatma, and they have lived their lives accordingly. These people should be an inspiration for us for leading our lives. In this way, Santa Sriranga Bhartuhu, why Swami Desikan has mentioned this? Swami Desikan has mentioned this to show what kind of people are they. They are the people who are full of Atma Gunams. What are these Atma Gunams? These Atma Gunams are never showing pride, never showing any ego, always being humble, never going into any conflict or fight with others. These are the kind of Atma Gunams that one would have. I just quoted a few of them, but there are a lot in number. But these Atma Gunams, if one has with him, then he would be at a different level. Hence, these Atma Gunams are very important for a person. With full of Atma Gunams, our Karukurichchi Krishnamacharya Swami lived his life, and he is an example for all of us. In that way, why are we talking about Atma Gunams here? Because this Atma Gunams example is what we are going to see today, or its expressions from Swami Desikan is what we are going to focus today. Because the topic is Swami Desikan and Paduka, right? That is why we are going to focus on Swami Desikan's Atma Gunams today. First of all, we all know that how this Paduka Sahasram got composed. We all have seen it in Ghantavataram too, I believe. Ghantavataram is the feature film that has been directed by our Kalakshepa Acharyan, Dr. Shri AbhimaaN Swami. We can see the scene where how this Paduka Sahasram has been composed, and in that scene we can see there has been a poet or a Vidwan who comes and challenges Swami Desikan. Swami Desikan doesn't accept the challenge because, as I told you, he is full of Atma Gunams. He never wants to go in conflict with anyone. What did he do? So he did not accept it. Then he came to have the darshan of Lord Ranganatha. That is the time when Shatari came and sat on his head, and it did not come out from there. Why did it not come out? It had a niyamanam, and for that niyamanam and for that order, Swami Desikan had to abide by. Only if he abide by that Niyamanam, the Shatari would go away from his head. What was that Niyamanam? That Niyamanam was to compose a stotram on the Padukas or Shatari of Lord Ranganatha. And in this way, the composition of Paduka Sahasram took place. We all know this story, and most of us have seen it in Ghantavataram. In this way, he started composing Paduka Sahasram and he finished it even before the other poet finishes it. With this incident, we can get to know how Swami Desikan is not at all interested in competing against a person or getting into a conflict with another person. He is never interested in these kind of things. We get to know from this, and he himself expresses this in one of the shlokams in the first Paddhati of Paduka Sahasram, which is Prastava Paddhati. He says, Ashraddhadhanamapi nanmadhuna swakiye stotre niyojayasi mamani paduke tvam devah pramanamiha rangapatistathatve tasyaiva devi pada pankajayor yathatvam. Ashraddhadhanamapi, I was completely out of interest. I did not have any interest in competing against him. I don't want to get into any conflict by going into the competition against a Bhagavata. I don't want to do it. Ashraddhadhanam, I was completely out of interest, and I did not have the belief that I can compose these 1008 shlokas. Because I am not such a person who can compose so many shlokas, and I don't have that capacity. Stotre niyojasi mam. What did you do, O Paduka Devi? You as Shatari came and sat on me. And the same Paduka, what are you? You stand as the Pramanam. You are the Pramanam, that is, you are the one who show us Ranganatha. You are the one who take us to Lord Ranganatha. In that way, you become the Pramanam, Deva Pramanamiha. You are the one who show Lord Ranganatha to us. In this way, you are just not the Pramanam, that is, you are not just the one who is guiding us towards Lord Ranganatha. You are also the Pramanam. Pramanam means two different interpretations. Pramanam means a testament which shows that you are there, Ranganatha. Such a testament are you, O Paduka Devi. If that is one interpretation, our Purvacharyas show Pramanam, that mana means measurement in Sanskrit. So the other interpretation of mana, which is the measurement, that shows that the measurement of the legs of Lord Ranganatha are within the Paduka. So this is the one. This Paduka is the one which is the final measurement. Paduka Devi is the one who is the final pramana to his Charanaravinda, or to himself, Lord Ranganatha himself. In this way, you, O Paduka Devi, once you came and sat on my head, you did not get away from my head. What was the reason? You forced me to compose Paduka Sahasram. In this way, since you forced me, I composed Paduka Sahasram with your kripai. Otherwise, I would not have indulged in such activities. Because Ashraddhadhanam, I was not interested in competing against a Vaishnava. Because that will somehow or other lead into a conflict, and I don't want to get into any Bhagavata Apacharam. I don't like that. That is why I never intended to compete against such a person. But you are the one who forced me. Stotre niyojayasi mam. You are the one who forced me to compose Paduka Sahasram, this set of shlokas. Since you forced me and you did not get away from my head, and you are the one who serve as the pramanam to Lord Ranganatha. Pramanam in two ways, as I already told you, as a testament and as the one who measures the charanams or the feet, lotus feet of Lord Ranganatha in this way. Since you ordered me this, I am going to do that. Otherwise, I am never interested in these kind of competitions or anything which causes a conflict against a Bhagavata. So that is the only reason why I am going to involve in this, said Swami Deshika. Is this the only thing Swami Deshika said and expressed his Atma Guna? No. How are the Bhagavatas who have Atma Gunas filled in their hearts? Those Bhagavatas are like our hero of this occasion, Sri Uve Krishnamacharya Swami, who was full of Atma Gunas. How are those people? Those people, if they see another Bhagavata, they are ready to offer anything. What do you mean anything? Yes, we see in Sharanagati, right? If we go and surrender to Perumal and Pirati, that Perumal is ready to give anything and everything for the protection of the surrendered people. In the same way, even here, Bhagavatas, that is, if one Bhagavata sees another, then for serving the other Bhagavata, the Bhagavata would be ready to offer anything. What does that anything mean? He would be ready to even sell himself. Oh, does that mean he has to sell himself and then serve him? No. How should we understand this? We should understand that this Bhagavata, one who is ready to even go up to the extent of sell himself, why is he ready? That is because he is seeing other Bhagavata as the Sheshi. Who is this Sheshi? Any other Bhagavata for a Bhagavata is a Sheshi, and that's why a Bhagavata serves the other Bhagavata. As I have already told you, Sat is such a person who has realized that he is the Shesha Bhuta, or he is Shesha to the Paramatma, and that is why he always serves Paramatma. Does that mean he doesn't serve other Bhagavatas? No. Serving Paramatma means he serves other Bhagavatas whom he meets. How does he serve? As I just gave the example of Perumal and Pirati, they do anything for the protection of a Jiva who has sought protection from them. In the same way, these people, that is Bhagavatas, are ready to sell themselves if they see other Bhagavatas. They are ready to go to that extent in serving other Bhagavatas. This is how we need to understand, not in a wrong way. Selling oneself means they have so much respect for the other Bhagavatas. And where does this respect come from? As we have already seen, Santaha, they have already realized that they are Sheshabhutams to other Bhagavatas and Paramatma. That is where this respect comes from, and that is how they do the Kainkaryam to the other Bhagavata. Nityabhivanchita paraspara nicha bhavaihi maddevataihi parijanaistava sangasiya. These are the lines from a shlokam of Vaikuntha-stava. As we see, that is how Bhagavatas speak to one another, and they would have realized the Sheshatva. Swami Desikan also quotes a similar verse in Yatiraja Saptati, where the followers of Yatiraja or Swami Ramanuja are in the same way as described in this shloka of Vaikuntha-stava. How Abhigamya Samyaganaghaha Sumedhasaha Yati Chakravarthy Pada Padma Pattanam Hari Bhakta Dasya Rasikah Parasparam Kraya Vikrayarha Dashayat Samindhate. Even here, Swami Desikan says that Abhigamya Samyak Anaghaha Sumedhasaha. These are the people who are very intelligent. Sumedhasaha, they are not ordinary people. They have already realized that Bhagavan is the Sheshi and we are the Sheshas. Bhagavatas are the Sheshi and we are the Sheshas. Swami Ramanuja is our Sheshi and we are the Sheshas. So what do they say? If we ask, where do you reside? They say that I reside in a city known as Yati Chakravarthy Padapadma Pattanam. Yati Chakravarthy, who is that Yati Chakravarthy? Swami Ramanuja. And such Swami Ramanuja's Charanaravindam, those Charanas or his lotus feet are the city for us to reside in. That is, we always meditate on such lotus feet of Swami Ramanuja. Hari Bhakta Dasya Rasikaha. And who are we? We are all Sri Vaishnavas who have got the Sambandham of Swami Ramanuja and the subsequent Acharyas. Kraya Vikrayaraha. Who are we? We are the ones who are ready to sell ourselves if we see other Bhagavata in front of us. We are ready to go to that extent if we see other Bhagavata in front of us. So we always think of serving the other Bhagavata and not chastising or not treating them with bad or hard words. In this way, we see that how Swami Desikan was and how all our Acharyas were with full of Atma Gunams. They were always meditating on the lotus feet of Swami Ramanuja, says Swami Desikan in this Yatiraja Saptati Shloka. We can also see Swami Desikan was also one such person who always resided in the charanams of Swami Ramanuja. Where do we see that? In the first Pashura of Pillayandadi. Ramanuja Muni, Vanmai Potrum Shirmayan, Yangal Tukpul Pillai Padam Yan Shenniyade. So, we see that what kind of Swami Deshika he is. He is Ramanuja Muni, Vanmai Potrum Shirmayan. He always stays in the lotus feet of Swami Ramanuja. And Ramanujasya Charanam Sharanam Prapadye. In that way, he stays in Swami Ramanuja's lotus feet. He always meditates on it. And to such Tupul Pillai, to such Swami Desikan, I bow down, says this Pashuram. So, in this way, Swami Desikan completely showed his Atma Gunams during this competition. When all the followers of Swami Deshika got to know that Swami Deshika has composed 1008 shlokas of Paduka, known as Paduka Sahasram, and the other person has composed around 600 shlokas on the lotus feet of Lord Ranganatha, everyone, that is, all the followers of Swami Deshika started celebrating Swami Deshika. And they were all enjoying that our Swami Deshika won, he is the winner. But at that time, Swami Deshika, do you know what did he say? He just said this verse. Sute Sukara Yuvati Sutashatam Atyanta Durbhagam Jatiti Karini Chiraya Sute Sakala Mahipala Lalitam Kalabham. This is the verse which he uttered at that moment. There is a pig which lives in many marshy areas and dirty areas. What does that pig do? What is the practice of that pig? Normally, it just begets a lot of offsprings together. What is the use of those offsprings? Again, those pigs too live in the same marshy, dirty area. But if you see an elephant, what does that elephant do? That elephant carries within her womb a small other elephant for a long time, and it just begets one child at a time. And what does that child do later? That child gets bigger, grows bigger, and will be useful for all kinds of works for the king. But the pig, is it useful for anything? No. Normally it stays in the dirty, marshy area itself. But this elephant grows bigger, and that will be useful for the king. In this way, just being more in number is not the one who is the winner. Since I wrote more number of shlokas, you cannot say me as the winner. You have to see the content inside it. Even if it is one, just like an elephant, if the content is very useful, as the elephant is useful for the king, then that is what should be considered as the winner, says Swami Desikan. He shows his utmost humility even during this time. In this way, we can see Swami Desikan expressing his humility for the composition of this Paduka Sahasram in another shlokam, where he says, Niche pihanta mama murdhani nirvishesham tunge piyanni vishate nigamottamange pracheta saprabhrutibih prathamopagitam Stoshyami Rangapati Padukayor Yugam Tat. In this verse, Swami Desikan says, Nichepi Hanta. What an Ascharya this is. What a surprise this is. Because what kind of surprise you have caused me. This is not an ordinary surprise. Because, O Paduka Devi, you have not seen any difference between low or higher status of people or low or higher status of things, because you have come and sat on my lowly head, this low status head. What do I have in my head? Nothing. But you have come and blessed me by sitting on my head. At the same time, where are you? Tungepi yannivishate Nigamottamange. You are the one who stays at the top edge of the Vedas. What is the top edge of the Vedas? That is nothing but Shruti Shiras. That Shruti Shiras is the Upanishad Bhagam. And that Upanishad Bhagam, you stay just about that edge. At the same time, you have come and sat on my head too. What a lowly head this is. At the same time, you reside on that high status Upanishads too. You did not see any difference between Upanishads and my head. You reside at both the places, O Paduka Devi. And since you came and sat on my head, Stoshyami, I was able to compose this Paduka Sahasram, which is on the Padukas of Lord Sri Ranganatha. Who has spoken about this Padukas before? It is your mercy which has helped even Valmiki to speak on this Paduka. If you see, what does this Ramayana reveal? If you ask our Purvacharyas, our Acharyas will say, Ramayana revealed the importance of Paduka Devi and nothing else. In this way, it was for the first time Paduka Devi's importance got revealed from Ramayana. So, who sang about you for the first time? That was Prachetas. Who is this Prachetas? Prachetas is nothing but the son of Prachetas, who is Valmiki. And this Valmiki was the one who sang about you. Prathamopagitam, for the first time he sang about you. And such Valmiki sang about you. What a lowly creature I am. Even I am singing about you, says Swami Desikan, showing his humility even here. Why am I singing about you? If you see that I am able to sing about you only because of your blessings. It is only because of your compassion. You sat on my head and you did not leave my head until I accepted to involve in this competition and compose the Paduka Sahasram. That is your compassion, O Paduka Devi. That is only because of your blessings I am able to compose this, says Swami Vedanta Desikan here. How did Swami Vedanta Desikan got to know this message? If we think practically, this message was conveyed to Swami Vedanta Desikan through an Archaka. Who is this Archaka? He is the one of the most fortunate souls who has got the right to touch and do the Tiruvaradhanam of Perumal. No one else has that right. So in that way, Archakascha Haris Sakshat has been told in our scriptures. In that way, he is Sakshat Hari. If that Archaka conveys this message of composing the Paduka Sahasram, that is from Lord Ranganatha himself. That is the Niyamanam of Lord Ranganatha himself. That is why I accepted this competition and I started to compose Paduka Sahasram, says Swami Vedanta Desikan in this verse. I can write or I can compose this only because of the blessings of Paduka Devi. Otherwise, a person like me, how can I create such a magnanimous creation or work known as Paduka Sahasram? That is not possible from me. Amman Aazhippiran Avan Evvidattan Yanar. He is in such a position, Lord Ranganatha, and Paduka is in such a position, but he did not see any difference between any kind of inferior and superior things. It came and sat on the inferior thing which is my head. At the same time, it sat on the superior thing which is nothing but the Upanishads. It resides there, but it came and sat on my head. That is how this Paduka Devi is. In this way, I am completely surprised, because what did this Paduka Devi do? She came and sat on my such a lowly head. In Guruvayur, people are not able to praise that Lord clearly with even taking the help of Vedas. What are these Vedas? Shruti Shata Shiras, right? These Vedas are having hundreds of branches, and these Upanishads especially praise Bhagavan himself. Even with these Vedas and Upanishads, they were completely unable to praise Bhagavan. That is, they praise Bhagavan but not to the full extent. But these people, if they see the Bhagavan once in Guruvayur, they come and see again and again, because he gives such an Ashcharyakara darshan and such a surprising sweet darshan to everyone. So that's why everyone goes to take darshan of that Bhagavan again and again in Guruvayur, says Narayana Bhattadri in his Narayaniyam. Tattavad bhati sakshat Guru Pavanapure Hanta Bhagyam Jananam. These people have done what kind of fortune? They are just going and having darshan of this Bhagavan again and again. What kind of fortune is this? Hanta, what a surprise! What kind of Ashcharya is this? Says Narayana Bhattadri. In the same way, Swami Vedanta Desikan says here, Hanta, what kind of surprise is this? Such a position of Paduka Devi has come and sat on my lowly head. In this way, Swami Vedanta Desikan expresses his utmost humility. Even when he won, but he did not consider that he won the competition. That is the kind of humility the person who has complete Atma Gunams will show. We all know that Ramayana is the base for this. Ramayana mainly has one slokam which describes about this Paduka Devi, and this has been expanded into 1008 slokams by Swami Vedanta Desikan. And what is this Ramayana? Ramayana itself is an avataram of Vedas. If Rama becomes the avataram of Narayana, then this Ramayana is the avataram of Vedas. How do we get to know that? Vedavedye pare pumsi jate dasharathatmaje Veda pracheta sadasit sakshat Ramayanatmana. Through this verse, we get to know that if Rama is the avataram, he took his avataram as Dasharatha Putra, Dasharathatmaja. If Rama is the avataram of Narayana, Ramayana, Veda Prachetasa Dasi, Prachetas, as we all know, he is Valmiki. Through Prachetas, Ramayana took the avataram of Vedas. In that way, in what way Valmiki has gone, I will follow the same path and sing your glories, O Paduka Devi, says Swami Vedanta Desikan. If Swami Vedanta Desikan has composed this verse, that is, Nichepi Hantam Amamurdhani Nirvishesham, what is the inspiration for this verse? The inspiration for Swami Vedanta Desikan for this verse is from a verse from Stotra Ratna, where Alavandar says, यन्मूर्ध्नि मे श्रुतिशिरस्सु च भाति यस्मिन् अस्मन्मनोरथपथः सकलः समेति स्तोष्यामि नः कुलधनं कुलदैवतं तत् पादारविन्दमरविन्दविलोचनस्य. Oh, the lotus feet of the one who has the lotus eyes, says Alavandar in the Stotra Ratna shloka. That lotus feet, what did it do? It was at the peak of Vedas, that is Shruti Shiras. Where is this peak? Shruti Shiras is nothing but the Upanishad Bhaga. That is the place where this padas of the Lord reside. But what did it do? Yanmurdhni me Shruti Shiras sucha bhati yasmin. It came all the way from that top edge of Shruti Shiras, which is Upanishads. From there, it came all the way and sat on my head, which is such a lowly head. Where was it before? It was at a high status, at the edge of Vedas, which is at the Upanishads. It was residing there and it came to a low status and sat on my head. Why did it come here? Because Asman Manorathah Pathah Sakalas Sameti. To fulfill all our desires, this padas of Lord came all the way and sat on my head, and in this way, to fulfill all my desires and to bless us, it came all the way from the top edge of Vedas, which is Upanishads, and sat on my head. Such a lowly head, says Swami Alavandar in his Stotra Ratna. In the same way, Swami Vedanta Desikan has also composed the verse which is Nichepi Hanta Mamamurdhani Nirvishesham. We saw this verse is the inspiration from Swami Alavandar's verse which we saw now. In this way, Swami Vedanta Desikan has shown his humility until now. We have seen his humility and we have seen his gunam of not going in competition with anyone so as to avoid conflict with any other Bhagavata. In this way, he has expressed all kinds of Atma Gunams during this incident of Swami's Paduka Sahasra composition. Now, Swami Vedanta Desikan shows his another quality. Until now, he has shown humility. Now, he is going to show his another quality. What is that? Let us see the verse. Dhatte mukunda mani padukayor niveshat valmika sambhava gira samatam mamukti ganga pravaha patitasya kiyani vasyat rathyodakasya yamuna salilad vishesha. In this verse, Swami Vedanta Desikan is showing his confidence. What is he saying here? Swami Vedanta Desikan is saying that Valmika Sambhavagira Samatam Mamoktihi. My words are equal to that of Valmiki's words. What did he say before? He said, I am following the path of Valmiki. That is, however Valmiki sung the glories of Paduka Devi, I am also following the same path and I am singing the glories of Paduka Devi. But now, what is he saying? My words are equal to that of Valmiki. Is this not arrogance? Can someone talk like this? Is the question which comes into the mind. But why Swami Desikan is saying that? That is because he is showing the sambandha of Paduka with him. What is that sambandha? How is that relation of Paduka is there with him? Let us see. Dhatte Mukunda Manipaduka Yor Niveshat. Since that Paduka of Lord Ranganatha came and sat on my head and forced me to compose 1008 slokams, which is known as Paduka Sahasram, my words are equal to that of the words of Valmiki. Due to the blessings of Paduka Devi, my words became equal to that of the words of Valmiki. Otherwise, is it possible that my words can become equal to that of the words like sage Valmiki? No, right? This is only because of Paduka Devi's blessings that my words are equal to that of Valmiki. This is confidence, not arrogance. That's because Swami Vedanta Desikan is showing his sambandha or relationship with Paduka. How Paduka Devi's blessings have benefited Swami Vedanta Desikan. His words have become equal to that of sage Valmiki. He gives an example which showing humility in the second half of the portion. Now he showed confidence in the first half of the shlokam. He shows humility in the second half of the shlokam by giving an example. He says, Paduka Devi is like Ganga. She is having glories which is perennial. That is, it flows in all the season. That is, her glories are there always. Who is praising those glories? Who is praising that Paduka Devi or Ganga Devi? There are people like Valmiki and others who have praised such Paduka Devi. And those Valmiki and others are like Yamuna and other rivers, which go and meet this Paduka Devi. That is, Yamuna and others meet river Ganga. In the same way, these sage Valmiki and others, if they praise Paduka Devi, they meet with river Ganga or Paduka Devi. This is the comparison Swami Vedanta Desikan gives. River Yamuna is sage Valmiki here. But who am I? I am just a small drain water, by seeing which even the normal people would not like to even touch it, and everyone would go away from it when it is flowing separately. But once that meets with Paduka Devi, or once the drain water meets with river Ganga never gets impure. River Ganga remains the same. It has the same purity. It has the same sanctity. In the same way, Paduka Devi has the same capacity and she has the same sanctity. But I am like a drain water who goes and mixes with that river Ganga, and river Ganga or Paduka Devi remains the same with all her glories all the time, like a perennial river. So in this way, Swami Vedanta Desikan, before the shlokam, expressed his utmost humility. Even while he was declared as a winner, he did not accept that he is the winner. He showed his utmost humility in all the incidents we saw above. Even in this shlokam, he says that his words are equal to that of Valmiki's words, and then he shows his humility. This is the way of success, shows Swami Vedanta Desikan by his own life story. He is showing that one has to always behave by showing humility at all times. That doesn't mean he is to be crushed by someone other's feet. No, humility should be there along with confidence. That is what Swami Vedanta Desikan showed until now. So in this way, Swami Vedanta Desika has showed the sambandha, that is the relationship of Paduka along with him until now in these verses. There are a lot of verses in Paduka Sahasra which shows the relation between Paduka Devi and Swami Vedanta Desikan. But to conclude, because of the time constraints, we see that there is a beautiful verse which Swami Vedanta Desikan says during the end of Paduka Sahasram. This also shows the sambandha of Paduka Devi and Swami Vedanta Desikan. He gives an example here. He gives an example of Dhruva. We all know Dhruva, right? This Dhruva was chased away to forest by his own parents. Once he was chased away to forest, he met Sage Narada and he got instructed from Sage Narada. Accordingly, he sat for penance in the forest when at the tender age of 5, and he started doing tapasya. What kind of tapasya? This was a very hard tapasya for anyone. What to say about a boy at the age of 5? He started sacrificing one after the other as inputs to his body. What was the final input he was taking to his body? That was the air which he was breathing in. In the gradual time, he even stopped that input. That is how his tapasya was. In this way, for his tapasya, Lord was very pleased and he gave darshan in front of him. He came to Dhruva riding on Garuda and he is in front of him. But what is Dhruva doing? He is enjoying the image of Lord in his mind. He has not opened his eyes. He is seeing the Lord in his mind and he is enjoying it. This is the time when Narayana thinks, I have come in front of him and he is not opening his eyes and seeing me. What should I do now? He has to see me, right? Then Narayana, what he does is he just makes himself invisible in his mind. He makes the image of him invisible in the mind of Dhruva. Then Dhruva gets disturbed and he opens the eyes slowly. At that time, whatever image he saw in his mind was in front of him. He saw the same Narayana, whoever was in his mind. He was so happy. He was enjoying the image or darshan of Narayana in his mind before. Now the same Narayana is in front of him. He is so happy, and in that happiness, in that excitement, he is not getting any words to praise Narayana. That is the time when Dhruva seeks from the Lord to bless him with all the knowledge to praise him. That's when Lord Narayana with his Shankha touched upon the cheeks of Dhruva, which made him to acquire all kinds of knowledge, and Dhruva started praising Sriman Narayana. In the same way, O Paduka Devi, you came all the way from the Shruti Shiras Bhaga, that is from the Upanishads. You came from there all the way and sat on my head and forced me to compose this Paduka Sahasram. That was only because of your blessings I am able to compose this. Just how Dhruva got blessed with the Shankha, the touch of Shankha, in the same way I got blessed by your touch on my head. That is why I am able to compose all these shlokas. Otherwise, would it be possible for an ordinary person like me to compose all these shlokas? Swami Desikan asks this. So here he shows how is the sambandham of Paduka Devi and him. It is just like the sambandham between Shankha and Dhruva. He gives that example and he shows he could never have done that without the blessings or kripa of Paduka Devi. In this way, Swami Vedanta Desikan and Paduka Devi, we can see a lot of relationship between these, that is Swami Desikan and Paduka Devi, in many of the slokams. But considering time here, we have seen a few slokams which show the sambandham between Paduka Devi and Swami Desikan. In this way, Swami Vedanta Desikan shows his complete dependency on Paduka Devi in composing this Paduka Sahasram. That is how our elders have lived. Our elders have shown lot of their Atmagunams at many different times during their lives. Those all Atmagunams are for us to learn and inculcate in us. In this way, whether it is Swami Desikan or our occasional hero, that is Karukurichchi, Chetlur, Sri Uve Krishnamacharya Swami, anyone for that matter, or Purvacharyas, have always shown these kind of Atmagunams. Why are these Atmagunams shown? That is for us to learn and inculcate in us. So in this way, I would like to thank Krishnavarahan, who is our Kalakshepa Satirthar, and also Dr. Sri AbhimaaN Swami for having given me this opportunity on this occasion of 100th Thirunakshatram of Sri Uve Krishnamacharya Swami. Please await for more such Upanyasams on interesting topics related to Paduka Sahasram from my Satirthas. Kavitarkika Simhaya Kalyana Gunashaline Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha Vadidvipa Shirobhanga Panchana Parakramaha Shriman Venkatanatharya Chiram Vijetam Bhuvi Jaya Garuda Suparna.